The woman accused of killing her ex-boyfriend, Jodi Arias, back in court today. And on the witness stand today, the police officer who first tracked Jodi down after the murder. She was in California. Mike Watkis is outside the courthouse with more on today's testimony. Mike?
Yeah, Patty, week 2 of this very high-profile trial, now in the history books, with prosecutors focusing this morning on a trip that Jodi Arias took in the summer of 2008. A journey from her home in Northern California to Mesa, Arizona, a journey that ended with the brutal killing of Arias's lover, Travis Alexander.
This is the photograph of the target, I think is what you told us, right?
Yes, sir.
Nathan Mendez is a former sheriff's detective from Northern California. And today Mendez telling jurors in Jodi Arias' murder trial how he was contacted by Mesa police following the 2008 killing of Travis Alexander and asked to track down one Jodi Arias, who Mendez says was living at the time with her grandparents in this home in the tiny Northern California town of Wairika.
Did you have occasion to assist in the execution of a search warrant at her home?
Yes, sir.
And in a box in Jodi's room, Mendez telling jurors, investigators found a box of receipts showing Arias had rented a car for her trip to Arizona in early June 2008, during which she now admits she killed her lover, Travis Alexander.
It's a budget logo.
But under questioning from prosecutor Juan Martinez, Mendez also noting that Arias did not rent a vehicle in her hometown of Wairika, but instead traveled 90 miles to Redding to rent a car from Budget.
Back in June of 2008, were there car rental companies in Wairika?
Yes, sir. There are at least 2 others.
An example of Jodi Arias covering her tracks, certainly what prosecutor Martinez hopes jurors will infer, as he and Mendez then presented a slew of bank card receipts and purchases from Jodi Arias' trip through California and Nevada at the time around Travis Alexander's death in Mesa, with Mendez telling jurors when a Budget rent-a-car employee who helped Jodi Arias was shown a photo lineup, he immediately picked out Arias, but noted she had changed her hair color.
He said the person that came in and rented the vehicle was number 5, except that she had blonde hair.
Yeah, and late today, Jodi Arias' defense team asked for a mistrial, basically accusing prosecutors and the police of lying about their theory of what happened at Travis Alexander's home and the sequence of wounds that the young man sustained. All of that could be important because it may have bearing on whether this was an act of self-defense or a first-degree murder, but the bottom line, Judge Sherry Stevens rejected the motion for a mistrial. They'll be back at it next week, and we'll, of course, continue to monitor. At Superior Court, I'm Mike Watkis for 3 TV.
In tonight's court report, more ups and downs today inside a Phoenix courtroom as the emotional roller coaster continued in the trial of Jodi Arias, accused in the gruesome murder of her ex-boyfriend. Our Mike Watkis has followed all the twists and turns since the beginning. And Mike, I was watching some of the testimony today. The prosecution really put out some graphic evidence.
Well, it was definitely another rough and tumbled, emotional day in the courtroom. Week 2 of the State versus Jodi Arias is now in the history books as prosecutors continue to lay out a case that they hope will ultimately land Arias on Arizona's death row.
Did you respond to the crime scene involving the killing of Travis Alexander?
Yes, I did.
With Mesa PD forensic scientist Lisa Perry on the stand this afternoon, it was another long slog through bloody photograph after bloody photograph for jurors in Jodi Arias' murder trial.
What are we looking at here?
We're looking at the sink that is to the north.
Just the kind of now familiar testimony and evidence that once again today had Jodi Arias turning her head and hiding her face behind her hair, and the family of Travis Alexander also averting their eyes.
You did not shoot Travis.
No, I've never even shot a real gun.
You did not stab him 27 times.
That's heinous.
Or slit his throat from ear to ear.
I can't imagine slitting anyone's throat.
And as week 2 in this high-profile case drew to a close, this afternoon, prosecutor Juan Martinez once again playing for jurors one of Jodi Arias' numerous early interviews. This one with Inside Edition, in which she said no jury would ever convict her.
No jury is going to convict me
Why not?
because I'm innocent, and you can mark my words on that one. No jury will convict me.
More drama late this afternoon as Jodi Arias' defense team asked for a mistrial, basically accusing police and prosecutors of lying about their theory when it comes to what happened in Travis Alexander's home and the sequence of wounds that the young man sustained. All of that may be important as jurors try to decide whether this was self-defense or a premeditated murder, but the bottom line, Judge Sherry Stevens rejected the defense's request for a mistrial. They're off tomorrow. They're back at it on Monday, and of course, we'll continue to monitor. At Superior Court, I'm Mike Watkins for 3 TV.